Hey, quick intro. I go over what I use, why I used it, and how it works in this encounter and all that stuff. So if you are curious about the village, just stay tuned for that towards the end after the run is complete. In the meantime, enjoy the run. Get you stupid boss, go to hell, and die. In that order. GG. Okay, here is the loadout for the two-phase that you just saw with Hunter. So let's start with the weapons first. In the top slot, my Kinetic slot, I have Tenacious Mastery. The main reason for this being here, besides having a lot of ammo to utilize for a special weapon, was anytime that I hit a trash mob and kill it, I would instantly go invisible. And basically everything besides the wizards, knight, and ogres would get one-shot by this. I'd combine this with one of my aspects, which is Stylish Executioner, which means every time that I hit them and kill them, I would go invis because it's an ability kill. Or rather, they were affected by an ability, in this case, Chill Clip. While we're here, my second aspect, Winter Shroud, was there for any time I dodged near an enemy to get my melee back. I would also slow them, which in turn, again, would make me invisible when I killed that enemy. Invisibility, by the way, is going to be the key to this entire run, essentially. Now, in my energy weapon, I did have Wilder Flight on, but to be completely honest, this can just get replaced by any fusion rifle. I had this on just in the event that I could do some extra damage while just shooting before the Lockset timer went out, but this never ended up happening, so I think you're just better off having a fusion rifle on, literally any fusion, just to take advantage of particle reconstruction. In the event that you have to deal with an ogre, this would kill it much, much faster than Wilder Flight would. Then we have Anarchy, the star of the show for the weapons in terms of damage. Anytime that I would get into the damage phase, the first thing that you would always do is shoot Anarchy for free passive tick damage. This allows me to both do damage to the boss, but also build up super energy while the passive damage is going on. And while all of that is happening, I'm basically annihilating the entire hive race in the arena. The exotic armor I used was Star Eater scales. Now, some of you are probably going to ask, well, Sneaky, you're on Prismatic, why aren't you just using Prismatic Star Eaters on the class item? And the answer to that is because the class item is like 1/3 of the actual original, which is much better in this case. Not only do you gain additional super energy from the orbs that you create, but it also gives you a healing burst and an overshield when you pop your super, which is really helpful in this encounter given that you're solo. Speaking of our super, Storm's Edge. Why do you pick Storm's Edge? Well, essentially, the boss is like Atrax, which means supers like Tether just don't count, and additionally, the crit is either not intended or just straight up broken on this boss, so Celestial Nighthawk Golden Gun takes a severe damage reduction, which means Storm's Edge actually ends up being the best super to use here because you can hit multiple targets, in this case multiple Shrieker bosses, at once. As you see in the video, if I pick my spot right, I hit 2 Shriekers at the same time and do massive damage because I'm hitting 2 at once. Moving to my abilities, when I'm hitting the bosses with my super, I am using Magnetic Grenade because I throw this at the boss and combine it with Facet of Dominance to make it a Void Weakening Grenade, meaning I have more damage on the boss through this interaction. In our melee, we have All Reliable, Combination Blow, simply just punch enemies and keep going invis non-stop while you traverse the arena and do what you need to do before getting to damage. No pun intended, Combination Blow combos off with our Winter Shroud aspect so that every time we do punch an enemy and then get near another one, we dodge, which then slows them, which then makes us go invisible when we kill that enemy. For my fragments, I had the following. Facet of Hope. This mainly was just here in the event that for some reason I lost my dodge in my Combination Blow shenanigans, and this just helped me regain it quickly, because obviously that's part of the engine, to just keep dodging and not to die. So it was kind of a backup plan for this fragment. Then we have Facet of Protection, pretty standard. You're surrounded all the time, so you have more resistance to incoming damage because of that. Number 3 is Facet of Purpose. Basically, you just gain Bull Charge stacks over time, and eventually, when you hit something, you would just proc Bull Charge on it. Could be an Ogre, could be a Knight, could be a Wizard, so it'll just one-shot them, so it's just really helpful. Number 4 is Facet of Dawn. When I do hit my melees, I become Radiant, and Radiant is one of the few things in this encounter that actually increases your damage to these bosses, where traditional things just straight up don't. Like I mentioned Tether earlier, that won't help you. So basically, when I'm putting Anarchy on the bosses and I'm punching the adds under the bosses, I'm just doing bonus damage through that passive interaction. And then lastly, I already covered this, but Facet of Dominance is here to make our Void Grenade a weakened grenade, so I do more damage on the boss for my super, and I guess a couple seconds of Anarchy ticking after that. But basically, yeah, a damage buff. One more thing to cover, how am I getting 2 supers in 1 damage phase? And we're going to answer that with the armor mods. So in my helmet, I have Hands On, which gives me bonus super energy on melee kills. That's 90% of the fight, melee kills. Then 2 copies of Dynamo, which reduces my super cooldown when using my class ability near targets. Again, happening non-stop. In my gloves, I have 3 copies of Heavy Handed, so every single one of my melee kills is going to give me an Orb of Power. Remember how I mentioned that Star Eaters gives you more super energy on orbs? Well, there you go. That's a combo. In my chest, resist, resist. and extra ammo in Anarchy. That's pretty standard. In my boots, I have 1 copy of Arc Scav for ammo towards Anarchy after the first phase, 1 copy of Recuperation to get health back each time I pick up an orb, which is every melee kill, and then 1 copy of Absolution to reduce all my ability cooldowns each time I pick up an orb. And finally, the class item, 1 copy of Distribution to reduce all ability cooldowns, including my super, when using your class ability in your targets, again every 2 seconds. 1 copy of Proximity Ward to get an overshield if I'm finishing something like a wizard, for example. And then 1 copy of Powerful Attraction, so when I dodge, which is non-stop, I will be picking up Orbs of Power that I happen to create, whether it was through my melees, or maybe you're using a Siphon mod, etc. So between the Anarchy ticks and all of these mods, that is how I'm able to get 2 supers in 1 damage phase, and then take down the Zoetic Lockset boss in just 2 phases with Hunter while solo. Alright, that's it. That's the vid. If you want to try out the build on your own, I will have a dim link down in the description below. But in the meantime, if you did enjoy the video, please consider subscribing today. It does help the channel grow, and is much appreciated. If you want to go the extra mile, you can leave a like and or comment below as well. If you don't know what to leave as a comment, you can leave Hunter as the comment. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.